It happens every year, and you barely notice it start. The light changes first. The afternoons get shorter. You leave work, and the sky is already going dark, and something in you goes quiet. You're not sad. Exactly. You're just heavier, slower. You want to stay in. You want to eat more, sleep more, talk less. You tell yourself you're being lazy. You tell yourself to push through it. But the real answer is far stranger. That heaviness isn't a flaw in your willpower. It isn't a personality problem. It's a survival program, written into your brain hundreds of thousands of years ago, still running on hardware that has no idea you have a heated apartment and a grocery store. When the days get short, a part of your brain that has never heard of central heating reaches one ancient conclusion. It thinks the cold season is coming. And in the world that built you, the cold season meant something simple. It meant the threat of death. Your brain still believes it. Think about what winter actually was for almost the entire history of your species. For hundreds of thousands of years, your ancestors lived without stored food on a global scale, without electricity, without a reliable way to stay warm. When the temperature dropped, the plants died back, the animals migrated or hid, the easy calories vanished. The cold itself could kill you in a night if you were exposed. Winter wasn't a season you decorated. It was a gauntlet you tried to survive. And the bodies that survived it best were the ones that prepared. So your ancestors evolved a kind of internal switch. As the days shortened, their bodies shifted into a different mode. They craved dense, fatty, sugary food because storing fat was insurance against starvation. They slept more because conserving energy meant burning fewer calories you couldn't replace. They withdrew, moved less, wanted less. They went, in a sense, partly dormant. Not hibernation, not exactly, but a dimming, a turning down of the whole system to wait out the lean months. You inherited that switch, and it still flips. The question scientists had to answer was how? How does your brain even know the days are getting shorter? You're not consciously counting daylight hours. You don't sit down in October and calculate the angle of the sun. But your body knows anyway, with quiet precision. And it knows because of a chemical messenger called melatonin. Melatonin is the hormone of darkness. Your brain releases it when the light fades and shuts it off when the light returns. It's the signal that tells your body it's night, time to wind down, time to sleep. And here is the part that matters. The length of time melatonin stays switched on each day is, in effect, a measurement of how long the night is. In summer, the nights are short, so the melatonin signal is brief. In winter, the nights are long, so the signal stretches out. Your brain is reading the seasons through the duration of darkness in your own blood. This was shown in a remarkable way by a researcher named Thomas Wehr at the National Institute of Mental Health. Wehr took people and put them into long, dark winter nights, 14 hours of darkness, the kind our ancestors would have known before fire and lamps. And their bodies changed. Their melatonin started releasing for longer stretches, just like other mammals do in winter. Their sleep even split into two pieces, with a stretch of calm wakefulness in the middle of the night. Wehr had uncovered something hiding under modern life. Underneath your screens and your streetlights, your body still has a winter setting. You've just been keeping it switched off with artificial light. But not everyone keeps it off equally well. In the early 1980s, another scientist at the same institute, a psychiatrist named Norman Rosenthal, noticed something about himself. He had moved from sunny South Africa to the grey winters of the northeastern United States, and every winter he felt the same thing you might recognize. The energy drained out of him. The motivation thinned. Then spring came, and it lifted. Rosenthal began to study people who felt this intensely, and he gave the pattern a name that's now familiar. He called it seasonal affective disorder. What Rosenthal found was that for some people, the ancient winter switch doesn't just dim them slightly, it pulls them down hard. They sleep too much, eat too much, crave carbohydrates, withdraw from the people around them, and lose their drive almost completely, but only in the dark half of the year. And the treatment, he discovered, was telling. Not a drug, at least not first. Light. Bright artificial light in the morning, strong enough to imitate the sun, could lift the whole thing. The brain was starving for a signal that the dangerous season was over, and when you gave it that signal, the program eased its grip. Think about what that means. The cure was to convince an ancient part of your brain that spring had arrived. So why does the darkness pull you down at all? Why doesn't your brain just let you carry on as normal? The answer reaches into your brain chemistry, into a molecule you've probably heard of, serotonin. Serotonin is often called the mood chemical, but that's a simplification. It's more like a regulator, involved in your sense of stability, of having enough, of being okay. And it turns out, serotonin is tied to sunlight in a direct, physical way. A team of researchers in Australia, led by a scientist named Gavin Lambert, measured this. They studied the level of serotonin being produced in people's brains across different days and seasons, and they found something clean and a little startling. The amount of serotonin the brain was making rose and fell with the amount of sunlight that day. Bright days, more serotonin. Dark, overcast days, less. The brighter the sky, the more of the steadying chemical your brain was pouring out. So, as the days shorten and darken, the supply quietly drops. And as it drops, the old program gets louder. Eat more, move less, stay home, conserve, wait. The same instructions that once kept your ancestors alive through the killing months now arrive in a world where the threat is gone, and you experience them not as wisdom, but as a fog you can't explain. Because that's the strange part. The danger your brain is responding to no longer exists. You will not starve this winter. The grocery store will be full, your home will be warm. The cold outside is, for you, mostly an inconvenience, a reason to wear a coat. None of the things your winter program evolved to protect you from are going to happen. And yet, the program runs anyway, because evolution doesn't update on a human timescale. The brain you're using was shaped over hundreds of thousands of years of real winters. The safe, lit, heated world you actually live in is only a few generations old. Your wiring hasn't caught up. It may never catch up. This is what makes it feel so confusing from the inside. You have every reason to feel fine, and you still feel heavy, and so you blame yourself. You think you're undisciplined. You think something is wrong with you. But nothing is wrong with you. You are doing exactly what you were built to do. You are responding correctly to a signal. The signal is just centuries out of date, and once you see it this way, the whole experience changes. This is where the work of chronobiologists like Till Roenberg becomes useful. Roenberg has spent his career studying our internal clocks, and one of his central points is that modern life puts us in constant conflict with them. We wake to alarms instead of light. We spend our days indoors, under artificial bulbs far dimmer than real daylight, and our evenings under screens far brighter than real night. From your ancient brain's point of view, you are living in a perpetual dim cave. You're giving it almost none of the strong, clear light signals it evolved to read the seasons by. So it does the only thing it can. It guesses. And in the dark months, it guesses winter. And it braces. Which means the way out is not to fight the program, but to talk to it in its own language. That language is light. Bright morning light, real or artificial, tells the ancient switch that the dangerous season has passed, the way Rosenthal's lamps did for his patients. Getting outside early, even under a grey sky, gives your brain far more light than any indoor room. Moving your body sends the signal that you are not, in fact, conserving energy to survive a famine. And understanding that the craving for heavy food and long sleep is an old instinction, not a new failing, takes the shame out of it. You stop fighting yourself. You start managing a very old piece of equipment that's doing its best with bad information. So the next time the afternoons go dark and that familiar weight settles over you, notice what's really happening. A part of your brain, older than language, older than farming, older than the first fire your ancestors ever lit, has looked at the fading light and reached its ancient verdict. It thinks the cold and the hunger and the dying are coming. It's pulling you inward to keep you alive. It's wrong now, but it's not broken. It's just loyal to a world that no longer exists. It happens every year. And now, you'll know exactly what it is.